Hi again, this is Bernardo, and this is the continuation of the computer programming course in the section 4 about repetitions. So, in the previous video, we already learned how to deal with the while and do while. So, I'm going to continue with the next section. We are going to learn about the for loops. Okay, so in the first we'll learn about while, and then the next we'll learn about do while. So how we will learn the most popular loop function, which is for loop. Okay, so in the for loop, we have a different style with the while do and do while and do while, because we put all those things in the one parenthesis. Okay, so you will see here with the for loop, you can, okay, this is the pen. So in the for loop you will have three items in the parenthesis. Okay, so those three items are different because we want to set the initial action at the first time. Okay, and after we have the initial action, we will separate it with the semicolon, and then we will give the condition. Okay, so the condition is something that you need to set in order to keep looping for the for loop. And after you set the condition, you need to put what kind of action after each iteration. So let's see. This is the example. Okay, so if I have integer I as nothing, okay, we don't want to put any values for the first time, so I can initialize this I equals to 0. Okay, and after I have I equals to 0, I would like to put the condition if, okay, so this is the condition, I is less than 100. If it is true, then that's true, the print line. So we will print welcome to Java. And after we print welcome to Java, we will do the action. Okay, this is the action after each iteration. This is the action after you run all the statements inside of the curly bracket. Okay, inside the curly bracket, you will do the inside the curly bracket, you will print. You will do the statements which is print line. And after you have the I plus plus, I will be added into the new value, which is 1. And then you will check again with the condition 1 less than 100. Yes, it is true. Then you will print again Java. Then, yeah, it will be looping until the condition is false. So the flowchart will be something like what you see in the below part. Okay, so the initial action, and then yeah, you have the initial action, and you will have the diamond symbol. The diamond symbol, as you know, it is the condition. Okay, so if it is true, then you will do the statement, and then if you finish all the statements, you will do the action after each iteration. And after you finish this, then you will come back again and then check the condition. If the condition is true, you will do again. If the condition is true, then you will do again. The condition is true, you will do again, and it will be satisfied after the condition is true, false, then it will exit the loop. Okay, so this is the example. If the I is less than 100, you will keep printing welcome to Java, welcome to Java, welcome to Java, and yeah, the I will be added by 1. The I will be added by 1, so it will increase 1. If I is now becoming 1, we will check with the condition. 1 is less than 100, yes, then we will print Java and next. Okay, so the idea is something like this one. Okay, let me show you with the let me show you with the Java file. So last time I have one file which is while loop. Okay, do I need to make a for loop? Okay, I don't need that one. Maybe let's just okay, integer I equals to 0. Okay, and then I have for loop I equals to 0. Oh, okay, maybe I don't need to declare this one. And then I is less than 100, and then I plus plus. Okay, and then I will print this one. Welcome to Java. Then yeah, the result will be the same like what you already saw in the previous example using the while. Okay. So if we want to do the animation of this example, you can check this on I. We want to declare the variable I. And then after we declare the variable I, the I is now initialized. The initial value is 0. We will check 0 is less than 2. Yes, it is true. Then we will print Java. After you finish the execution, you will add the variable I with 1. So we have the I equals to 1. 1 is less than 2. Yes, it is true. So we will print again, welcome to Java, and then we will add again I with 1. So now I becomes 2. So 2 is less than 2, false. So we will stop and it will exit from the loop. Okay. Now we have a particular, in some other ways, you can deal with variation. Okay. So the initial action in a for loop can be a list of 0. It means if you have the initial value, you don't need to put it into the variable. You don't need to put it into the for loop. Okay, like this one. So this is empty. Oops, oops, sorry. Okay, so this is empty. Nothing here. Okay, and nothing here. Okay, and I want to put the values, the initial value here before. So I equals to 0. And what about this? So this is the value that I put into the body of the loop. So we will have the I plus plus. It means I will print the value I and then I will add with 1. Okay? So that's the idea. So the initial action can be a list of 0 or more comma separated function, and the action after its operation is also can be a list of 0 or more comma separated elements. Okay. So if you check this for loop, okay, this for loop something is missing. Why? Yeah, in the first for loop, you can see here in the first for loop, there is no statements or no body. Yeah. So all those things are in the format in the parentheses. So all things are in the parentheses. I equals to 1, and then I is less than 100 is the condition, and then we will print system.out print line I plus plus. So this is the action after each iteration because we don't have any action. So the action is located in the action after each iteration. And that is fine with these statements. Okay, this is fine. So the next one is how can we deal with the for loop when the variable consists of 2? Okay, we have I and we have j. So we declare I equals to 0, comma j equals to 0. Okay, and then you need to separate with the semicolon. The I plus j less than 10. And then after you have the I plus j less than 10, if it is true, then you will do something. And then finally, after you finish with those statements, you will add I with 1 and then you will add j with 1. Okay? And the separator is comma. So you need to understand the separator is not the semicolon but comma. If the separator is semicolon, it means you want to distinguish the variable with tree. So yeah, the concept that you already know. Now you will give me questions. Uh, is there something that you need to use, whether you want to use for loop or while loop? Okay. So the idea is the for loop and the while loop, they are just for function looping. Okay? And you do with this loop, you can do uh, anything, okay? As long as you understand that it is true. How you can make it is false? Yeah, so you can use either for or while loop. Now let's see if in the for loop you can see in the left part for blank, blank, and blank. Okay, so nothing here, nothing here, and nothing here. So if you have nothing here, it means the condition is true because you don't have a condition. Okay, and what about the initial value? The initial value is nothing. Okay, and then what about the action after the iteration? Nothing. Okay, so it's the same with the while true. Okay, if the condition is true, then you will do going. You will keep going and going and going. Okay. Remember, when you have the for loop, you cannot put the semicolon after the statement in the for. Okay, so this we call as the logic error. If you have the logic error, then yeah, that will be a cause if your program is not compiled. Okay, so this logic error, you should be very careful. This is also another logic error. Okay, if you have the while and then you just put the semicolon at the end of the while, then it's not correct. Okay. And in the case of do loop, yeah, the do loop or do while, the semicolon is necessary at the end. Okay, so be careful when we are using the while loop. You cannot use the semicolon here because it is not the end. But at the do while, this is at the end. Okay, that's why we are the Java is still fine with this semicolon because yeah, semicolon is necessary in Java. Every statement should be ended with the semicolon. Okay? If you are using the while loop like this one with the semicolon, it is logic error because it is the starting. Okay? But if the while it becomes the ending, then it is necessary to have the semicolon. Yeah, like I asked you before, which loop you want to use? Yeah, you can use the while, you can use do while, you can use for. So it depends on the criteria that you want to use. So if you know that the loop is good for loop, yeah, you can use for loop. Or you think that okay, it should be so suitable with the while loop, then you can use while loop. Okay, or maybe you think that okay, it's more suitable with do while, then you can also do with do while. Okay. So the idea about the while and for loop, they are the same. Like what I mentioned before. So the condition in the while loop is in the parenthesis of the while, but the loop condition for the for loop it is in the middle of the syntax of for. Right? And also you can check this. The position of initial action and loop continuation and action after interaction, they're different between for loop and while loop. But yeah, you can easily understand. Okay, at least there are three: the initial action, the loop continuation condition, and the action after each iteration. So per my recommendation, yeah, use that is most intuitive and comfortable for you. So in general, a for loop may be used if the number of repetition is known. As for example, you need to print a message one at a time. So if the repetition is known, then you can use for loop. The while loop may be used if the number of repetition is not known, as is case of reading the numbers until the input 0. So it means if you are using the for loop, okay, using the for loop, most probably you already know the numbers, okay. You already know that, okay, I will repeat this one 5 times, I will repeat this one at a time. Okay. But with the use of while loop, so the while loop is another repetition, and it can be a repetition when the number is not known. So for example, if the number is not equal to 0, then keep looping, keep looping. Yeah. On the other hand, the do while is yeah, almost similar. Okay. Now the do while is the loop body should be executed first before the testing the continuation condition. Then yeah, you need to check, for example, someone who buy in the online store. Okay, so the yeah, once they click cart, then it will enter to the, for example, the database. Yeah. So if you already entered into the database, and then you will check, are you going to pay now? Okay, so if they're not using the payment now, maybe pay later, then yeah, you will just keep the values into the pin, and next time if the user want to pay, then yeah, they can just check, okay, I have this item and then I can pay. So using the do while, it is useful where the continuation condition is at the end. Be careful with the infinite loops, because it is a loop with the not never ending loop. Okay, like what you already saw before. Yeah, it's never ending loop. So the controlling Boolean expression never become false. Like while loop and do while loop will repeat without ending. In the for loop, it will also repeat without ending if the Boolean expression never become false. Okay, be careful. Now, I'm also thinking to give you more examples, okay, because of the time limitation. I just give you the file, and then you can try at home, okay. So I have the test sum to Java. So the test sum the Java, let's see. Now I have float sum equals to 0, and then I have float that is the initial value I 0.01 f. Is to remember? Yeah, I want to cut the numbers. Okay, I don't want to make the number more than 2 decimal. Okay, so f is there to just limit the numbers, and then I want to check if I is less than equals to 1. As long as I less than 1, then you will keep looping. You will do the sum plus equal to I, and then print. Okay. What about the next? The next will be a number. So number is I equals to I plus 0.01. So if it is accumulated, then yeah, somehow it will reach more than 1. This is the condition. Okay. So if I run, okay, the sum is 550.49995. So the next thing that we are going to learn is about the nested loops. Okay? So the nested loop is the multiple while, multiple do while, multiple for loop. Let's say I have this example. Okay, let's just give it this to the, okay. Hmm. Now you can check this. I have four integer I, one I less than equal to 5, and then I plus plus, and then I have the curly bracket. So this is the beginning, and this is the ending. And then inside of the for loop, I have another for loop. And now I'm making the variable j in order to do the next loop. And j is 1, starting from 1, and then it will keep repeating until 10. Okay. So we are going to learn this one, and we are going to print it as the star. So you can see the star, 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 star like this one. Okay. So the row there are 10, and the column there are, oh sorry, the row we have 5, and then the column we have 10. So the outer loop repeats 5 times and inner one 9 times. Okay, what is loop? What is outer loop? Okay, so this is the outer loop. Okay, and this is the inner loop. So the inner loop there are 10, and the outer loop there are 5. You can change the variable, for example, like this one. What is the output? How can you make this triangle? Okay, so if you know the idea of this, you can easily change the condition. Okay, now the condition is 10, then we have 10 times every row. Okay. And you can remember that the sequence is important. So the sequence means we will do something from the top, and then go to next, go to the next, go to the next, go to the next, go to the next. And in every line, you will start from the left to the right, left to the right, left to the right. Okay. This is also the same. If I have the second loop, actually the second loop will follow the first loop. Okay. If you're making 10, means there will be 10 times in one row. But what about if I change this one, not j with the fixed value, but j will be checked with the real the value that you can use to limit the iteration. Okay, let's say if I have this, uh, the star equals to 1, and then in the second row the star equals to 2, the third row the stars equals to 3, the fourth row the stars equal to 4, and so on. So how can I manage this one? Okay, so here we have the I less than 5. Okay, I is less than 5. For example, I equals to 1. So I equals to, okay, I equals to 1. Then I have this I equals, I have j equals to 1. Okay. Now I have one condition. The j should be less than or equal to I. So if I equals to 1, then j equals to 1, then we will just print 1. Okay. And then we will print start, and then go to the next line. And now I become 2. Now after we have 2, then we will check j equals to 1 until 2. Okay, so the result is here. We have 1 and 2 stars. Okay. Okay, so we have like the triangle. And yeah, I will give the exercise later. Okay, so this is one example of from the what we learned to, from the first video and the second video. Let's try to figure out if you have the for loop. I will give you this kind of problems in the e-class later. Okay, so if we are changing the I, we have the I is the limit for the J. So for every time that you have a row, it will be limit until the I. Okay. Now you can see one another difference, which is the printing. So we want to print the number, okay, not star. So you can change this one. Now I want to change the number. This is J. So we have 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, because we are printing J. What about if I print I? So we have zero numbers. Okay, so yeah, you can do with your experiment. Okay. So the common errors that you may have in the during the creating of this syntax, you have the, for example, I equals to 1, I less than 5, and then I will be added by 1. The next for loop is to have the for loop with the variable j. So j equals to 1, and then I is less than 10. Okay. Oh, why this error? Why this error? Yes, because this is the condition for the variable I. Okay. If you put the variable I condition inside the variable j condition, then it will keep infinite loop, since I cannot be added by 1, because this is the action after you execute your syntax, and the action is to uh, add the variable j, not the variable I. Okay. And the other example that might be your interest is giving different variable. So I know that the second for loop is for the variable j, but I have I plus plus. So I will be added, and it will be keep going on until some values. But yeah, this is another thing. If the I is less than the 10, that is fine. But if I is increasing, then yeah, I, which is the original variable, will not be so effective again. Yeah. And yeah, you can deal with the very tricky loops. Okay, let's see. I want to print the numbers, so it is the arithmetic numbers. I want to print from 1 until 5, but I do not want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to print the number that you see here. So this is a number. How can you uh, make the code? Okay, so maybe you can see, oh yeah, this is 3 multiplied by con plus 1. But how can I get this number? How can I get this formula? Okay, so let's see one by one. Oh, okay, so it's already there. Okay, so what statements in the body would cause the loop to print 2, 7, 12, 13, 22? So we need to make a variable count. Okay, so the statement now here is 2, 7, 12, 17, 22. And after we multiply with 5, it will affect. Now the number is becoming 5, 10, 15, 20, 35. Okay. So each time count goes up by 1, the number should go up by 5. So it's, yeah, you can see this one. But count multiply 5 is to create by 30. So we extract 3. Okay. So the idea is, how can we get the numbers? Okay. The number is here. So how can we make the numbers with the particular looping function? Okay, before we go to the for loop functions, how can we solve this problem? Okay, so this is the decrement value 17, 13, 9, 5, 1. So we can create the loop table together. So each time count goes up by 1, the number printers should be. Okay, maybe you need to check. Okay, the number printer should be, it depends on the number. Okay, so buying this multiple is often by a margin of, let's say I have the number to print is 17, 13, 9, 5, 1. So let me just give an example. Let me multiply with -4. So, oh sorry, let's multiply to multiply with variable count. But before that one, we need to have the count equals to 1. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I will make a -4, -8, -12, -12, 16, and -20. And the final state is, how can we reverse back the number? So we have -4. How can we reverse with this number? So yeah, we just put the values plus 31. Yeah. How if you have a complex line? Okay, what nested for loop produced for this following input? Maybe you think, oh, wow, it's very difficult. How can I solve this one? You need to understand the two concepts, which is inner loop and outer loop. So the inner loop means it is repeated characters on its line. So it's like the row. Okay. How about the outer loop? Outer loop is loops 5 times because there are 5 lines. Okay. So the inner loop and the outer loop must be clear. We must build multiple complex lines of using the outer of vertical loop for each of the line and inner horizontal loop for the pattern with its line. So this is, if you can do it this simple, I think it's not that difficult. Okay? First, write the outer loop from 1 to the number of lines. Okay, so you can try. Now look at the line contents. This line has a pattern, some dots, and then the number. So we have 4 dots and number 1, 3 dots, number 2, 2 dots, number 3, 1 dot, number 5, and 5 rows. Very good. No dot. Okay. So how can you do this exercise? Okay. So you need to separate into two. First is about the dot. Now the dot is, as you can see here, the number of dot is 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So the line is the line. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then I would like to multiply with -1 and -1 multiply line plus 5. So the result is the same as the requirement 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. To print a character multiple times, you can use for loop. Okay, so now you have the initial value and you have the later value, and your task is how to, and you use the for loop and print only the dots. So yeah, the answer is something like this one. Okay, so line equals to 1 and line less than 5. So if j equals to 1, oops, sorry. If j equals to 1 and j is less than -1 multiplied by line plus 5, and then we still have the iteration after completing the action. Okay, so now we have line has been set up, so we are having this one. Oops. Okay, so we have the so we have the dot and line. It means our tuning, this one is the 1 2 3 4. Okay, the dot. After you finish the dot, then you will print the line means the value that you want to show. If it is in the first line, then the line is 1. If the second line, then the number is 2. If it is in the third line, the number is 3, and so on. Okay, and the number of dot, it depends on the number of it depends on the line. Okay. We can also have different way to deal with the nested loop. If we are using the 1 2 3 4 5 like this one, so we just build the formula. Okay, the formula that we know here is this one. Okay, but if I have the next one, what is the result? Okay, you may have questions about this. Oh, I already gave the answer. Okay, so I don't know to waste more time. So you can take a look on the result. Okay, this is the result. So the dot, there are 4 and then one number. The dot, there are 3 and then 2 numbers. The dot, only 2 and 3 numbers. Okay, so when you have the 3 or 2 numbers, it is dynamic. So this, it will be very good if you can write the code. So this is the code. So we have another loop. So it is for loop, and there is another loop inside, and there is another loop inside. So the another loop is to print the number. Oh, how about this? So now you're not printing all the numbers, but the numbers only in the diagonal. So in this case, yeah, you can just make the dot for the first, and then dot for the second, and then you will have the number in the middle of the dot. So in this case, 3 is in the middle. Of course, 1 and 5, it is the last one, so it will not give any additional dot for 1, and there will be no prior dot for number 5. Okay. So if you want to check, you can check on the multiplication table. Okay. Oh, sorry. So if you want to check in the multiplication table, okay, so you can run. This is the result of multiplication table. Okay, 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, 1 multiplied by 5 is 5, and so on. Okay, so I think I will stop here. So next video, we will discuss more about the nested loop, and of course, we will learn the new items like break, continue, and other things which is related to the conditional alternative. So thank you for listening, and see you on the next video.